So recently I posted a story where I showed myself powering my Pietro hand grinder utilizing a cordless drill. This got a lot more attention than I expected. A lot of people were asking how do they go about converting their Pietro to be able to power it with a drill or some other electric motor. So today I want to walk you through that. Now, for those who aren't familiar with the Pietro grinder, this is known to be one of the best filter coffee grinders on the market, period. It is difficult to be able to get a cup of filter coffee that is as tasty as this produces without spending thousands of dollars on a expensive grinder. This was actually designed in conjunction with the company Pietro, who is owned by Fiorenzato, who is an Italian grinder company, and Lance Hedrick. Now, many of you know him. He's very well known in the industry. He's got a YouTube channel and Instagram, etc. So they partnered, and Lance consulted on the design of the burrs that they call the Pro Brewing burrs that are in this grinder. They are fantastic. So that's a little bit of a history. So now let's go ahead and go into what it takes to convert this. Now I'm going to call this a conversion, not a modification, because more or less should consider this as a permanent conversion from being a hand grinder to being a power grinder. Now, the reason why I say it's permanent is that you can actually reverse it, but it's quite difficult to do. So just basically consider in your own mind that it's a permanent conversion and decide if you want to do it or not. As with anything like this, any changes you make to your equipment is done at your own risk. So let's jump into it. Okay, so here we have the Pietro hand grinder. Of course, we know the dial is on the front, and then we reverse it around, and we have the actual hand attachment itself. The first thing you're going to need to do is to remove the rotating burr here. This is actually the fixed burr. And the way you do this is just by pressing in the little button here when it's at the top and rotating counterclockwise until it stops. And then you're just going to pull the burr straight out like this. This is the actual attachment that you'll be using later for your drill or whatever your power tool, your power attachment is going to be to power this guy. So it's a square head around 8 millimeters. The next thing you're going to need to do is take the actual hand attachment, the hand crank, and you'll see right in the center there is a little cap, and you're going to need to use your fingernail or perhaps some other little tool to pull this back, attached with some sort of I'm thinking it's a rubber-based glue. It can be reattached fairly easily. So you just pull that off and set it to the side. Now you'll see that you have this hex, or perhaps it's a Torx type of screw. So you'll take your screwdriver and put it in there and loosen that up. With that loose, now you can actually pull the entire face of this off, but note that there's springs holding pins in place here. So when you do this, there may be some parts that go flying. So we'll go ahead and carefully pull that off. I just lost one of the springs to the side here. I'll get that in a moment. So a spring there, you have a little pin that goes in this side here that actually helps position the handle when you're cranking. And there's the one from the other side. Let me get that spring that ran away. Okay, so next up, now we have the actual attachments for they actually go into the burr and actually have the bearings and everything attached to it. So what you'll need to do here is you'll just need to pop out this small axle that runs through that attaches the handle. You slide that out and the handle falls off. So we'll set that to the side. The next thing you'll see is another spring here that actually holds sort of the assembly together. So you'll just take this off and place it to the side. Now, the next thing you'll see is that you have a pin that actually is what locks the fixed burr here in place from the handle. It's what you actually use. This little pin is what you actually used to rotate this, to remove it. So you'll take this pin and the small spring that goes with it. Now, the next thing you're going to need to do is remove the front burr. And the way you do that is by aligning 3 holes. One is going to be the hole that's right here beside the pin that we removed a moment ago. And then as you rotate the burrs, you'll see that there's a screw here. And on the other side of the screw is a hole. So you have to align both of these holes to reach through to the screw. So you can use a torque wrench or an Allen key to do this. And I have a nice long Allen key that will reach right through here. And you just apply some force and remove that screw. It's a little bit easier to go ahead and do this on both sides. You don't have to use the hole. You can actually also use this space on the other side if you'd like. The hole actually works to remove the burrs even if you have not taken all of the plates off. Let me show you what I mean by that. So this hole in the face actually aligns to that. So you can actually remove the burrs without having to take off the face, which is a nice touch. So let's go ahead and finish taking the burrs off. So you rotate these screws until they come out. Then you'll note that there are O-rings on the screws there. My advice is to go ahead and take those out right now. Go ahead and poke the screws through, pull the O-rings out, just so you don't lose them. Set them off to the side. So now that you've opened that up, the next step is to take out this screw right here, this Phillips head screw. Now, the purpose of this screw that we just removed is to hold this black plastic piece right here in place. You would actually be able to see it sticking through this little hole if it was actually still installed. So what you are going to do now is you're actually going to be pushing this upwards. And this is attached to this piece here, and this is going to come out. But before you can actually get it to move, you actually need to move this backwards slightly. This has actually got a little locking mechanism, a little tab in here that has to be pulled forwards. You can see there's a little small slot that's there. You can perhaps, if you have sturdy fingernails, use that, or very easily you can also just use a screwdriver to slide it forwards as you're doing it. So you can just use your one thumb, press on the bottom, grab a screwdriver, and just kind of work on it, and it will kind of slide upwards and outwards. So there you can see there it's popped out slightly. So now that it's popped out slightly, you can just go ahead and take a screwdriver and push this on out. So the next step, and this is the real challenging one, is going to be to slide this bearing right here out. And it is a pressed in bearing, so it is not easy. You actually have to push it out of this metal housing that they've pressed it into. You know, if you have a tool, there are tools made for this. You can actually just attach the tool, pop it right out. But I think most of us probably don't have a bearing press or a bearing removal hammer. So that's what they call some of the tools for that. So you almost have to make your own bearing hammer, as they call it. They're not actually hammer, but kind of behaves like that to get the bearing out. There's different ways to do this, but the long and short of it, as they say, is that you're going to want to put something with an axle through the bearing like this. If you notice the screwdriver I'm using, the face of the screwdriver connects with this metal ring right here. So the way that this is there are multiple rings in here. The first one right here, if you look, you can see that it's got a square hole in it. And that square hole is actually the drive for the burrs. So when you would normally rotate the handle, it actually would rotate that square drive. So what you're going to do, because that square drive is actually this inner ring, what it tells you is that this right here is all one piece. So what you're really wanting to do is pop that out. Now, depending on how you do this, you may pop this ring out of the bearing, or you may actually just slide the entire bearing out of the housing. Ideally, you want to take the bearing out as well. So the diameter of the screwdriver is such that it actually touches the bearing itself. So when it presses, it'll actually take the bearing out too. So what do you do next? The idea is that you're going to line this up in a way where the axle is running straight through for alignment. You can see the bearing. I've already taken this out before and I haven't fully reinstalled just for ease of demonstration. But the bearing will be fully flush, and you're just going to tap the bottom of the screwdriver while holding this part, and it will push this out. And I say tap, but that's probably not the best word for this. It requires some serious percussive force to get this out. So you're going to want to take the screwdriver and hit it directly down while you're holding the base. So you're going to be holding this part, or the burrs mount to. You're going to be holding this while you're hitting this onto a surface. So obviously the surface that you're hitting needs to be durable. So when I did this, I used a weight. So let me pull that up here right now. So here is a 35-pound dumbbell. Definitely sturdy. Don't have to worry about damaging this. So you just line this up. You're just going to want to tap vertically because you want it to just be tapping the bearing straight up and out. So let's go ahead and do this real quick. And there we go. So now you have the bearing. It's removed. We're looking at. And there is the actual burr mount. And so now that you've done this, you're going to have to reverse some of the things that you've done. This is your new burr assembly that you'll be attaching your whatever, electric drill, screwdriver. If you're creative, your little brushless or brushed DC motor, however you want to do this. But the way you put this back on is you will just take the mount and you'll put it at that same angle that you removed it at before. You can see the tabs here and the little holes in the grinder. So you're just going to slot that right back into there and slide it in. Now, before we do that, I want to show you what the inner burr assembly looks like. So you just grab this and pull it straight out. And you can see what the inside looks like. It's actually just all machined aluminum. The very bottom there, you can see the mechanism that's used to adjust the depth of the burrs, the grind size, if you will. So the way that this works is these two bearings here actually sit inside of the grinder, and they are what basically aligns the burrs. Once this is spun into place, it's locked, then this is now in a fixed position. This doesn't move. It cannot move. And this right here, because it's just a basic attachment, was not involved in the alignment. That other bearing was just used for basically, making it easy to rotate the handle, and maybe just overall alignment. But really, the main part of the alignment occurs here at this point, because this is locked into place in the housing. Okay, so what you're going to do is, put this back in if you've taken it out. It's very simple. You just slide it straight backwards until it doesn't go any farther back. You will take the outer burr, the fixed burr, and you're going to just slot it in like this. And then you're going to need to rotate this slot back to the 12 o'clock position. You'll likely be able to do this by hand, but you may need to use a screwdriver or something to do it with. But you just grab it with your fingers, rotate it around until it gets back to the top position. Or really, it actually can go just slightly beyond. And so you just get it until it won't go any farther. And now you actually can see how the burrs spin with this and what you're going to attach to. And then I have an adapter that goes from that hex bit to a 3/8 inch socket. Because this is an unusual shape, this is not a typical shaped attachment. What you need is to get a pipe nut style of fitting. This is a 5/16. This fits, it's a little loose. Like I said, it's around 8 millimeters is what the actual size of this is, but I don't have an 8 millimeter version of this. I only have the 5/16, and it does work just with a little bit of looseness to it. So you just put this on, put it over the end of this, and you can go ahead and grind. And that's all there is to it. And because this grinds to, or the grinding mechanism goes to the right, or you could say it goes clockwise, this actually maintains this fixed burr housing because the torque is being applied in this direction, which is the direction in which it locks. So it stays in place very nicely. I hope you found this video useful and interesting. And if you decide to make this modification, or rather conversion yourself, I hope you enjoy the results. Happy brewing.